Uh, I, I, I guess that's it. Buy seams are good, and man. Hi there, gal. No, it seems my thing never really closed. That's cool. Hi there, Cactus. Jeremy Lakata. Let me just get these things in order and we should be good. Okay. So again, we have what's this? I can't read your names in game. We have Gal, we have Advance, we have Lupus, we have goodness me, I need to enlarge my overlay, don't I? I can't I can't read some of your names. Ah, one sec, chat. Wait. Get okay. Let's move it a bit here. Much better. Why if it isn't Matthew Sunseeker? He who has shown up on stream for a brief moment last time and then promptly dissipated like the wind. Welcome, Matt. Vega, Kitsune, Vesper, who will be back in a short while, and what says? Nice optimization to your avatar. Optimization? Now you can see some of the changes I've made. Yes, yes. It's a bit dark, chat. If you have compulsive spending problem, Canon, might as well toss it my way then. All right. Maybe having the overlay at the there. So much better. I just finished quality time with Wolfie and friends. I see. Okay. Gal says the stream made my headache a bit better. Speaking of headaches, I've actually been awake since what time? 10 hours ago or 12. I was actually supposed to stream 3 hours prior, but I apparently underestimated the amount of work one has to do when doing an avatar overhaul. Yes, there's another big thing in the works. Well, not really that big, but yeah, it definitely eats up your time. Good morning, Mark. Bill Stain. User who's sending fires. Mizu the Float Cell. Right, I remember you. And Mystic who has been
2 more months
supporting me
and
for
it'll be a whole year. My
10
goodness.
months. What do you know? How nice of you, Mystic. Thank you. I appreciate it. There. Sorry, I was try to figure out the angles. Yes, same old office chat. There. It really gives you a feeling of where we are. Forgive me if I seem a bit scatterbrained, chat. Past few days, I've just been doing more Blender and more programs of pain, Substance Painter, Unity, you know. At least I'm an hour earlier compared to last time. There's your flip, gal. Agent Orange is asking if there's any new cases cooking. Nothing new that's noteworthy, to be honest. Mm-mm. Substance Painter. Correct. Funny enough, actually, Substance Painter was the easiest of the bunch that I had to do. It's the back and forth between Blender and Unity that consumes the most time. Man. Wow, whoa. Okay. I am half tempted to leap back into like doing what I'm doing. Oh, you know when you're doing a task, like think of it as like fixing your car or your motorcycle. You're changing the oil or maybe something which requires more muscle, like replacing the clutch cables or yeah, replacing clutch cables takes a lot of effort. Well, on my end at least, especially if it's hydraulic, because you have to bleed the damn thing. But you know how when you're doing something and then you have to leave like it's 80% done and then you just you want to hop back in. Yeah. Vegas says letting you know I shot you a DM over at TikTok about your face setup. Tried to DM on X but could. Oh, you had a DM. What was your question? We're here live now, so ask away. You, gal, should go to bed. I think it's common sense that anybody who's been awake for more than, I don't know, 16 hours should e- make sleeping their priority. Good morning, Paolo. Hi. Bit of the yawnies. What are my pins? Ah, that's supposed to be Vesper in front of me, and then there's. Hi, chat. Yeah, that's me in the old office. Hi there, Haynes. Where are you from? I'm from the Philippines, chat. That's a little country in Southeast Asia. To those that don't know. Good night, gal. I know, not even 10 minutes into my stream memo and immediately have a I'm from the Philippines thing. Where did my camera go there? Hi there, T. Billy. How was your day been, detective? I have been working straight on Avatar stuff again for pretty much half a day. I consider the stream that I'm doing right now as the break time. Yep. Man, oh, one of these days I'm just gonna take a break from VR chat related stuff and just play. Good morning, May May. Yeah. Go to Gumroad. I believe the Volper is around $50. Oh, I think I replied to somebody who asked me the same thing. But in case you didn't see it, yeah, it's just a Quest Pro, nothing fancy. And as for the rest of the blend shapes, I did. The Volper comes with like base face tracking, right? And most of Ad Jerry's and royalty stuff. So what I do is I tend to put that into Blender and then do a little bit of tweaks to the blend shapes themselves. Sort of like brewing coffee to my own tastes. Something like that. Zampakan, you're the one who stumbled into my door. I'm just sitting here in my office. Blame yourself, not me. The graphics are so smooth. How did you do it? Hardware, my friend. Hardware. Also, it comes to not having an avatar with a billion stuff on them. I mean, mine is like rated very poor, but that's simply because I have a lot of geometry. I need it for the how do I zoom in? Wow, camera for the really close-up shots like these, which is not focusing. Hi, yeah. Ah, well, you can always try royalty. There's also another guy named Hantor, I think. Sorry if I got it wrong. But those are the people I know that make face tracking templates. So you have Polygon, you have Royalty, you have Ad Jerry, Hatnor, I think. And yeah, just those four. Vesper says, in comparison, my avatar is very heavy, says Vespi. Wait, I already said that. What? Brain, come on. Lots of clothes options. Are you on the Quest 3 because you have tracking? You know, the Quest 3 actually does not have face tracking, but the Quest Pro that has been phased out does. Take a break and just play. Wilds would be nice. I actually really want to just play a bit of Space Marine or Battlefield with, you know, I, shooting things alongside dozens of other players with tanks and planes is my comfort zone. But I don't mind playing Monster Hunter Wilds too. Gab, have you met other people that are using similar types of avatar to you? There are a lot of Volpers out there. There are a lot of Nova beasts. I'm not one of a kind. For my personality, that is. Matthew says made a choice. I'll buy a refurbished Quest Pro for now, but I'll have to deal with the probability of faulty tracking. Matthew, as long as it doesn't have sweat damage and you don't use it while sweating, your Quest Pro should last a long, long while. Funny, my Quest Pro is around, oh man, it's more than a year old, that's for sure. It's more than a year old, turning two, I think. And, yeah, I use it for soaring fitness, which is working out, and things are going okay. Hi there, Olympus. How do you prevent moisture? One, be in a room that has active dehumidification. Two, if you don't have that, at least wear a headband or a head cap to keep moisture from trickling down into the headset. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Three, you could go the difficult route and open up your Quest Pro. There's instructions online. And you have to apply like sealant on the LEDs or the copper boards. And honestly, it's something that I would do. Or you could get an attachment piece that's a fan. Ah, yes. You do tell me once you have a mounting option for such a thing. Without interfering with your Quest Pro's microphone. Mark says, "Hey Gibbous, can I sit down here and close my eyes for sleep?" Mark, by all means, stay as long as you want. Go rest. Rest like how I am doing right now. Rest like 90% of the other avatars for VR chat. Gumroad is your answer. Matthew says, "I was dealing with the choice of waiting for XR Elites face tracking, but it hasn't the same rate of Pro had, and the eye tracking isn't very good." Okay, welcome to the Quest Pro gang in advance. You know, Matthew, there's one thing I gotta ask. Why did you order official slimes when there are aftermarket ones that are so much better that is actually priced similarly or cheaper in the Slime VR server? It's the same thing I suggested to Joe. Same thing I suggested to Vesper. I got my slimes in a matter of days. 10-point tracking, $230, chat. Mystic says, "I'm done with my laughing fit for now. Pray tell, what was the cause of the humor?" I am. Okay. Res. Gumroad is the answer. Gumroad. It's just Gumroad, chat. Righty. Did you buy your PC pre-built or did you build it yourself? I built it myself. Funny, actually. The other day, somebody's little brother, my little brother, he's like 27 years old. He asked me for help assembling his computer. He now runs a fantastic 7800 X3D system with a 3080 Ti, 64 gig of 6000 DDR5 RAM, an extra terabyte of storage. Not too bad. Mhm. Don't know, says Matthew. Maybe because I wanted to be sure from the actual origin center. Matthew, if anything, the safe route is the aftermarkets. Have you ever considered asking somebody who was using slimes? Or are you. Why do my friends all do this? Foolish decisions. I could easily help them and provide better options. But they try and dive into something as much as they are inexperienced. Fools. Now, not only are you paying for a subpar product, you have to wait 2 to 3 months for it. Yeah, let that sink in, Matt. Yes, Flatteroli, something like that. I investigate things. I go to places, stick my nose into things that need explaining, that's for certain. Speaking of which, my partner's back. Hi, Vesp.
Hello? Sorry for
Please.
taking so long.
It's okay. Vesper here is a very busy body of a dragon. She always has to, like, do things on the side. Not only for me, but for other people too. Her family. Think of her as always being on call. So whenever you see her on stream, be considered blessed by her presence. So yeah. Mystic says, my friend crashed out on repo. She had a ray of colorful words to the robe enemy because it broke a lot of valuable. Ah, yes. All your hard work shattered and broken by one malevolent, unstable force. Matthew says, well, crowd supply will refund me the money since it's a pre-order. Good. If you can refund it,
Good,
Matthew,
good.
then by all means, I don't mind setting aside some time to help you with options. Hey, Geb, have you heard of Imagine Dragons? Of course. Ra-
Oh,
radioactive?
Imagine Dragon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'll behave. I'll behave.
I'm gonna drag in your thing over the table if you say that.
Oh, come on. I've worse than coins. Hi, you missed.
I missed. May I ask your accent? I'm Filipino, Chad. Means I'm from the Philippines, in case you needed me to spell that out. I don't know if they look at TikTok chats as fluffs. I do, actually. I do, trust me. And when things are scrolling too fast, I let you guys know. Thank you, Manu. Again, chat, I am using a MetaQuest Pro. Don't be a fool like me who paid full price for. Yeah, you got it cheap. You got it cheap, Bess. I paid 1,400 for mine.
Yeah, I got it cheap.
You got it cheap. Down to
Cheap.
your office again.
Yeah.
Sure. Ugh. Also, I didn't notice the. There we go. Music was kind of low in my previous VoD, so let's oom that up. Sure. This looks like what Gib would have in the basement. I. All right, Nexus, if you say so. Clearly underground. I love money and girls. That's an interesting username, TikTok user. Ah. Oh yeah, by the way, chat, these eyebrows are totally custom made. I should have said that to the person asking about the expressiveness I had earlier. The Volper doesn't have eyebrows, like actual 3D eyebrows. So, well, here I am doing the smart thing. I made something in Blender, assigned some blend shapes to it, and here it is. How do you make lasagna without a pan? Asked Digger Man. It's simple. Just like spaghetti you're taking out from a party that you can pocket or put in a handbag. You find some aluminum foil and just be creative with the shape. Mystic says it could be a basement, especially if your house is on a hill. Ah, yes. Geb was the Hobbit detective. Is that Death from The Last Wish I hear? I'm sorry, I'm obsessed. Death? Are you talking about the. Not Wakanda Forever hunter of Puss in Boots. They're gloppy. Lila. D9. Gloppy. Huh. Reminded me of certain slime character I was profiling yesterday. Man, I dug up some colorful information about that individual. Wow. Working on both fronts, using all of their assets to their maximum capabilities. Props to them on the business standpoint. Oh, they were color white and had ever so captivating simple eyes. I've rested enough. Time to shower and adventure. You know, you could have swapped the words around. Misty could have said, "It's time to adventure in the shower." Thank you, Trees. Oh, I always play jazz on my streams. That's nothing new. Row, row, boat towards KFC. Yep, adventure in the shower. Nakos, how about you? Give me a guess. Where do you think am I from? Gebus sounds like what? Correct. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat, mga nagpupuyat. Hi there, Ivan. I heard that you walking give you smiling backyard nothings. Using chicken drumsticks as your oar on top of a large bucket of KFC, sailing on an ocean of gravy. I would be your first mate if you were the captain. See you around, Olympus. Thanks for dropping by. Wow, yeah. Quite the interesting individuals here in chat today. Was it a mistake to stream this early? Hmm. I would have to keep an eye on you so you don't eat the boat. I know. Wow, gaming cat with the roses. Finally, something I noticed. I don't have the gifts thing, but thank you. Again, all right. FAQ. I'm from the Philippines. I'm using a Quest Pro. I'm not a voice actor. Yes, that's my partner, chat. And what else can I answer? Uh, that's it. She's stunning. Oh, absolutely. You know, Lupus, if it helps, you can always have my stream open as you go mow the lawn. All you need is audio anyway. Go focus on the grass that needs trimming. Ah, man. Do you have phantom sense? Of course I do. Why? Thank you, crying. Why, Matthew sending me 9 cents. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's not about the amount, chat. It's about the value. The value of friendship. Oh, why did Vesper laugh? What? I was being sincere.
No, it wasn't supposed to be like that.
Matthew, did you know Vesper's making fun?
I'm not
Goodness
making
me.
fun of you. I was laughing at a DM my twin sent me.
Had to slave 18 hours probably for that 90 bits. That and like
Hey,
it's not about how much I
wasn't
got.
making fun of him.
So, oh my goodness.
What makes you think I'm making fun of him?
Vesper's being me. See that face. What's this? Mystic wants us to come because it's her first anniversary. What do you mean? Come to where? What is this event? Sweated blood and hours of work. Precisely. And I know how to appreciate the working class citizen's effort. Because I too was one. You are one too.
Yes, I wasn't trying to make fun of him.
I wonder what this event Mystic is talking about. Anniversary? The El Alba first
El Alba.
anniversary. Oh, that's interesting. You will do Friday? Yeah, definitely can make it. Sure. So I need to stream early, and then right after stream, I'm going to hop onto your cafe event. Wait, Vesper has a twin. Yes. Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
Wanna fill in chat about your siblings?
Yeah, so I am the oldest of 3. Well, oldest by like 12 minutes from my twin. So sometimes I'll be interrupted mid-stream by one of them walking into my room and asking me to do something. Yeah, busy lady, I know.
There we go.
Someone's out. Sorry.
It's okay. So yeah. Did you know that Vesper actually doesn't have a break day throughout the week? Mondays to Thursdays she's in classes, and then was it Mondays to when? Yeah, and then Fridays to Sunday she's at work. Goodness me. Talk about the hard worker. So yeah. It seems Mystic is excited about us attending. Okay. Sure. I will try my best, Mystic. Is it gonna be around the same time as, before? What time was it my time? I believe it was 7:30 a.m. Where are you today? Is this some kind of haunted house? It's an office. A private office. I heard Matthew Sunseeker over here is now working among his Hispanic peers over at El Alba. Interesting. Me, the worshipper of the change your ways, I worship nobody, chat. I am Gebos undivided. Oh, wow. And then my arm immediately mutates. Wow. Okay. I have eyes and ears in places, man. Shh. Why do you think I like this color? Maybe I should go green and gray instead. Necrons.
Green and what?
Nothing. It's a little inside joke between me and Nexus. We're talking about Warhammer.
Uh,
How are you doing today? Asked Kobe. I'm doing a-okay. Well, I'm slowly recuperating actually. I haven't seen you in it. Okay, sure. You look cute-ish, by the way. Hydrate. Oh, right. There's a hydrate redeemed by Mystic. Of course. Desperate. It's time to
I don't
drink.
have any water with me, so I'm all good.
Damn, okay. I would share some with you if I could, but alas. Ah, there we go. Whew, chat. In case you haven't done so, now would be a good time to drink some water or juice or something healthy. Such a cozy stream. Whole point of what I do. I have Kool-Aid. Wow. Does it count? Of course, man. Peach milk for Mystic. Peach milk. That's delicious. I see that you frequent the Japanese grocery a lot. I wonder what case Gabe is solving. I am currently on the case of the mismatched weight painting. I have solved the case of the triple ghost tails, but one is corporeal. I'm talking about Unity in Blender work, chat. Chat, take it from me. When you're working on creatively um, extensive tasks, take a break. Take a break every now and then. Know me like me, because little things will start to pile into frustrations and it's gonna ruin your mood. Thank goodness I step out before that even happens. Mystic says, I haven't had Kool-Aid, Kool-Aid in forever. I couldn't keep it in the house because my siblings kept drinking it. Don't worry, Mystic. Won't he come like knocking down your wall and then give you some grape drink? Some. Do they have watermelon flavor? Can't remember. My procrastination will take over.
Coming from two people who haven't had Kool-Aid in God knows how long.
Ah, yes. Some blueberry you can drink. It's available in my country. That's what I mean. It's not. it's not. It's an analog to Kool-Aid. It's called Tang. That's the brand, but it's just as good. Totally what I meant, chat. You look kind of familiar, fam. You okay? 9/11. Don't think of my ears as twin towers now or anything. Okay. Yeah,
Gab
let's
doesn't
keep it
want any
part.
piercings.
Mm-hmm. Brutus says I've never seen Kool-Aid. Really? The commercials used to be famous back then. It was this like jug of Kool-Aid. It was the red guy. He would come crashing in, quite literally. Hi there, Arte.
Even I remember those ads.
Yeah. Hearing Geb was saying any slang is funny to me, especially when the imitation is spot on. TOS, stop, Geb, stop. I miss Tang. Kool-Aid watermelon with cherry soda and lemon juice is a great. You just mix three strong flavors together. Normally, what I enjoy is like mango juice. Mango juice is like thick, creamy, and sweet. In contrast to say like lemon or any citrusy flavors, which are sharper, sour. Oh. Wait, what juice? Mango juice. So there's this brand that's an analog to Kool-Aid here. It's called Tang. Sometimes there's other brands too, like 8 o'clock. Yeah, it's called 8 o'clock. Um, these are usually powdered juice concentrates, which one small sachet, which is just this big, is enough for a liter of juice. That's super cheap too, like maybe USD 20 cents per sachet. You said you have phantom sense. Is yours restricted to VR? What in the context of VR, I can answer confidently yes, but I'm not sure what you're pertaining to outside the scope of it. Ah, that needs to be fixed.
Actually, now that I think about it, I do. Oh, pardon my controller losing its mind, but I do work as a cashier. As Gab said, school 4 days of the week, work the other 3.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have Tang here in the U.S. It's just I think we mostly only have the orange flavor here, though.
Nah, I see.
Haven't really seen any other flavor, at least.
Gibbs indeed does have a Twitter. Yeah, of course. I have a Twitter, I have an Instagram, and then there's TikTok, and that's I have YouTube for my VoDs, and then there's Twitch for my lives, and Red Note for my Chinese community. Unfortunately, I'm unable to stream to them still. Mystic, go make your Kool-Aid. Also, I have Instagram, yeah. My Instagram is just my VR stuff. I think I have one IRL video or two. It was me just panning the camera towards the beach and my motorcycle boots were in view, and yeah, that's it. Hi there, Kay. Well, Kay, sir. Kay, sir. Instead of Kaiser, it's Kay, sir. Sir. Okay. I don't know why it was tricky to pronounce your name. My cat is awake. Good morning. Are you using shaders? Without shaders, I wouldn't be properly rendered now, wouldn't I? Shaders. K is fine. How are you? I'm still in one piece. Oh, and my controllers lost tracking because I bumped them against each other. Ah. Mystic says y'all can have some. Don't drink it all up before dinner. Kool-Aid. I usually drink a bit before, during, and then a lot after. Think of it as like flushing a toilet and its contents. My, I will stop that analogy right now.
I mean, it always ends up at the same place anyway.
It always
So.
ends up in the same place. That's true. That's true. Either gray storm. What's this? Enjoy says your accent is so weird. I mean, I don't know where you're from. Again, I'm from the Philippines, chat. But yeah, thanks. Ah, yes. It seems Setlet has found my Twitch. Congratulations. Hi. I haven't met anybody from the Philippines yet. Well, hi. I'm Filipino over here. Yes. Again, magandang umaga sa inyo lahat. Oras na ba? Alis 6. Puta, hindi ako marunong ng oras pag Tagalog. It's 6:10 a.m. There you have it. How's the weather? We've been having a terrible heat wave the past few days. I remember yesterday I was taking a nap. My AC was at full blast at 16 degrees Celsius at the highest fan setting. Lo and behold, I woke up like a half-damp cloth. You know when you sleep and it's hot, and then you wake up icky, just the backside of your head is like wet from sweat, and you just... ugh. The rest wasn't as
Yeah, it
effective.
happens to me occasionally, but most times my my problems are just, oh, I wake up, I slept hard on one side, and yes, I can see all the folds of the blanket, and my peep stuffed animal just indented into my arm.
Precisely. So yeah. Whoa, 360. If I bought 20 million from the United States over to the Philippines, I would have over 1 billion, says Diggerman. Yeah, that's true. That's why a lot of people, if they can find an overseas job while working in the Philippines, they will have a lot of financial power. That's why every little bit of support you give me, chat, is times 5. You give me 20 bucks, that's immediately 3 digits worth here or more. Your tiger po. I unfortunately have no idea who that person is. Let me just fix this thing real quick, chat. My arm tracker is just digging into my arm. Ooh. There we go. Lupus says, earlier I was trying to reach something high up in VR chat. Ended up hitting my hand on the ceiling trying to see if jumping would help.
Ooh.
Fantastic attempt. I want to join the Discord, but
Yeah,
I can't figure out
maybe.
how.
Mm.
Sorry, what, Bess?
Oh, what I was saying is maybe instead of risking slapping your hand at the ceiling again, get like OVR advanced settings so you don't have to jump to grab things.
Play space, chat. That's the secret. Play space. Yes, there we go.
Yeah, I used to be just a questie, so I'd have to like go. Whoa, lag spike. Okay. I used to just have to use Gogo Loco to reach items that I couldn't get. But it's a lot
Yes.
easier now that I've got play space.
Mm-hmm. Yura says the heat is really getting to you. 20 US dollars is 4 digits here. 20 US dollars, chat. I believe is worth a whole day's worth of pay from my old job. All 8 hours rendered in the office. Yep. So I can only imagine how much. God, you know the bigger streamers, they get so much, like so much incoming. And it's like, what do I do with all that money? Like, I mean, yeah, there's things to buy, but how do you handle that influx of finance? For example, you have a house, you have like a car already, or in my case, I'm saving up for a bike. I remember the last time somebody gave big on my stream. It, I was quite speechless. I didn't know how to handle it. Man, I crazy, really crazy, really happy too. Bicycle or motorcycle? Motorcycle. I'm a motorcycle kind of guy. Funny how they say bike, but bike is like short for bicycle, right? And just call it a motorcycle.
Or is it just the fact that they call it a bike because people also refer to it as a motorbike?
There's that too. Yeah. I'm a set. See you around, Seth.
Still, it's just kind of confusing to refer to two different objects with the same name.
Precisely. Oh, hi there, Dim. Greystorm says, what company are you looking at, Cycle? I have the same dream bike since 2019, and that is the Honda Africa Twin DCT edition. I I've just been pining for that thing for the longest time. Whole point why I'm streaming, chat, so I can save enough money to buy. I mean, so I can connect with people, make friends, and uplift the spirits of the hearts that are wearing. 100%.
Well, you definitely have one clear story of that right in front of you at least.
Yeah, that's true. Ooh, Matthew says ignore the Discord for now. Too bad. I'm already checking it out. Oh yeah, sure, man. I'll send you a stuff. I'll send you stuff that you can look at. Wow, a feather mask. Thanks, Artemis. Makes me wonder. I haven't been seeing Wolfie as of late on streams. Huh. Maybe he's busy. Last time he said he wasn't able to really hang around because he was distracted by conversations. I'm both happy and sad. Happy because Wolfie is finally connecting and making a lot of friends, which is great. I'm always happy whenever my friends get uplifted and make social connections with other people. It's sad because I can clearly see people moving on. And I'm not one to force them to stay. Ah, there it is. That nostalgic mood I've had. Was it August of last year? Going back on topic, I am trying to save up for a brand new one. I've always just bought secondhand bikes, but I think if it's something that you've been yearning for years, that you've been exerting hard effort for to save up, I think it's something you need to buy brand new. You know, so you have the heart and soul of the machine all nice and shiny and intact. The adventures, the stories that you're gonna share with your bike is completely between you and your machine. From the first page to the last page, gets to be you. I played a bunch of Fortnite before, Digger Man. I just after I played most of the custom game modes, it got old. Why are you so serious? Asked a TikTok chatter. What did I do? Oh, you? Nothing in particular. Don't worry. You're okay. You need numbers for you to enjoy games. Yep, that's why I enjoy games like uh, Path of Exile, Factorio. Oh my god. Uh, don't let me go on. Space Engineers. Oh, you would be surprised how much I played Age of Empires 2 before. Funny, I played Age of Empires 2 when I was still on the console. It came out on the PS2 of all places. Played a bit of City Skylines, but I don't know. I never really got hooked by it. I played SimCity before, the SimCity games. But yeah. Oh no, lupus. That's why you make sure you charge your devices beforehand. I don't know, Salvo, you tell me. I just remembered washing my face this morning with some particularly special facial cleansers. I got a new skincare routine. Can't you just see the glow, huh? Either Burbies. Who's the old avatar? The old avatar. I've always just been me. Sorry, what animal are you asking, Jackson? It's cute. It's one, I'm not an animal, but I do bring similarities to a damn, what am I? Bring back soon, yeah, bring back what? What are you talking about, Burmese? Or is TikTok mistranslating? I'm part cat, part draconic, and based on my teeth, part canine. Or I don't know. You just, I'm a mix. Bring back bald gip. Why are you obsessed with my shiny old head? Wolfis's paws. I ask. For real. This paws. My goodness. All right, Matthew. We gonna play a game. Yura says, Geb, I hate math. Also, Geb, the games that require mathing to compute and optimize his character's best. It's different. It's because I can see the math being applied. I'm just the puppet, Bill. Wolfie's the ventriloquist. Okay, I don't know if you're serious or not, but yeah. Sorry for me. I'm a bit in low spirits, but I'll give you a wager all the same. I'm just tired from a lot of things. Dear coin in my palm, which side shall you land on today? Wolfie slash Matthew says they want pause, as always. Leaves me with heads. Without further ado, we go flip. And- Hi, chat. I'm Gebus. And if you look at the side of the coin, that's actually my head engraved sideways. Let me give you a good old zoom. Come on, coin. You know what? I'm gonna color my coin. One side is blue and one side is black. So you know if it's heads or paws. So yes, chat, the coin landed on heads. Thank you for playing. What do you know, Anubis?
Ah,
What?
yes, so Gap's gonna finally get some sort of enamel filling for his coin, huh? Like one of those
Yep,
things,
I will. I'm
just to make it
definitely.
easier to see.
I'm gonna go paint this coin so it's not hard to discern what's on it. Like for example, this one, chat. This is paws. Uh, it's yeah. How nice! I broke my unlucky streak, says Anubis. Okay. Congratulations, Anubis. By the way, if you may have noticed, I'm actually using softer, dimmer lighting on the stream. Not quite as dim as when I was back in that Hong Kong balcony with Vesper, but I figured you guys don't want like a flashbang whenever you're like watching a stream. But if it's too dark, let me know. I can always just up the lighting.
Yeah. Gosh, wasn't there an issue with me
Yes.
being a flashbang in the past?
But yeah, no, I look like a ghost. Ooh.
Ooh.
Let's stick with this one. A ghost with a sensual voice. Wow. So what, Matthew? Does Wolfie want a reflip? Was the wager even real? Either Evangeline. All right. Oh, wow. Let's adjust my position real quick. Bye bye, Yura. Have a great day. Good luck at work. I know you have a lot of numbers to crunch, things to solve, knots to untangle. I hope you get good dinner later. I don't know, maybe he's busy. Surely having a good talk. Okay, gotcha. If you had one time period of your choice, where would you go and why? I want to go to the interstellar trading age, where xenocultures are prolific and it's an era of peace with only minor squabbles in between systems. You finally can go casually explore the wonders of space, most chartered, but still plenty of mysteries for yourself to adventure and discover. I love space chat. Somebody put him in the movie. I hope it's a something shown on HBO at the very least. Whew. Chronicles of Space, the captain and the second in command. Yeah, I would be the captain that would want to run into an anomaly and figure things out from there. Go ahead and get your 3D printer, Dim. Why not? Find a small one, but effective. Experts. Yeah, sounds fun. My problem is money, says Dim. You know what, Dim? You and me both, pal. The rivers have been starting to dry up as of late, Dim. It's bad, bro. It's bad. Neither Super's plan. You bored? No. Mine are always dry. Wait, are you Dutch? No, I'm not Dutch. I'm Geb. Thinking like the Titanic, including the iceberg. Right? Ah, man. Must be one of those dry seasons. Maybe it's time to focus on phase two of things. That avatar custom, oh, you bet your butt it is. Though I started with the Volper base. Phase two, robbery. Yeah, Hi, Gibbous. Can you put an avatar of a dragon girl? You mean you want to see Vesper? Oh, yeah, sure. There she is.
Yeah. Do you guys can forget that I'm a separate person from he is?
Chat, Vesper is a separate person from me, okay? I just don't swap avatars. Like, she's across me when I stream. So, yeah. If you're broke, there's always alternate ways to make money. Oh, chat, if only I was born as another thing, I would make so much money so easy.
Yeah,
Yes.
he doesn't quite have some
I
assets that
don't
others
I don't
do,
have the
but
assets, chat.
still has. Listen, his stream is more quality than quantity.
Oh, look, sometimes when I lie down and stare at my black ceiling, which is painted matte black, I think to myself, here I am trying to like, squeeze my brain out, talking to strangers for 2 hours and a half, almost every day, and where I can just sway my hips, show some digital skin, and people will throw an entire year's worth of salary at me per stream. Oh man, some streamers have it easy. But yeah. No, chat. I am not gonna be a sellout. I'm gonna speak about the truths that is in the streaming industry. I may nag a little bit, but I will never, ever, ever sell out unlike other people do. And then all of a sudden, Gebus is offered $50,000 to dress up a certain way. I don't think so. Unfortunately, you don't capitalize on your talent. That's why I am gonna move to phase two, Anubis. I'm gonna. I've just been busy the past month or the month. I've been teaching myself to do better in Blender, Substance Painter, and Unity. Handling VR chat avatars in particular, and this is like the practice bed. And I can see myself taking a long break from that once I'm done and just focusing on something else, which is the thing I've been talking about since before. Chat, it's okay. If you're broke, you're broke. It's nothing wrong with being broke. Doesn't mean you're any less of a person. Violet Spectre says, Gebos, your voice is amazing. You can be a voice actor in animated movies and series.
Hmm.
Okay. The Colonel. No. Trade. We get fem version of Gebos. You receive 100 subs or 200 in support. What does that even mean? You want I can just magically inflate my chest if you want. But no, chat, no. Actually, if you go check the fan art channel, our resident artist, Shopao, Kamiko Shopao Arts, made a gender bent version of me, which I actually approve of. It looks nice. Vesper had funny hair there, I think.
Had a what? Sorry. Could you repeat that?
He had funny looking hair.
Hmm.
Dim says everything is wrong with being broke because then you can't buy your Honda. I know, Dim. I know. It's my projections are off. I was supposed to get it this Q1, but that based on my current math, I'm gonna have to save up for 2 more years instead of what am I doing wrong? Because I'm not playing games. And that's what people want. No. What's this? Punished Venom West. Pushing 30, 2 months behind child support, and 3 months behind rent, by the way. Good luck. Child support. Yikes.
Hmm.
Yikes. Lupus says, full half hour spent looking for earbuds that are charged. Found 2 dead sets. Found the cords, the containers to charge them. Finally found a corded pair of headphones that connect to my phone. And now I can stop procrastinating and finally mow the lawn. Go mow your lawn. Digger Man is asking, how do you get to the Philippines with only $10 in your wallet? Sip. Well, if you get lucky, you can stow away in one of there's this thing called balikbayan boxes. Balik means return, bayan means country. So a return country box. It's where overseas Filipino workers send goods to their loved ones at a very, very cheap price. So put yourself in a suitcase, put suitcase inside balikbayan box. And probably $10 will get you into the Philippines in around 90 to 120 days via sea freight. The processing is longer than the actual travel. Was it freight or freight? I think it's freight. Harbor freight. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Your voice fits for a bedtime story. Once upon a time. The end. Vesper didn't even laugh. It was that bad.
I was too busy focusing on chat to even hear what you said.
Same thing Wolfie said the other day. I was too busy focusing on chatting. Oh my god, I see. Oh no.
I was moderating.
No. Not you too. Oh man. You found the fan art of you topless. You mean the one drawn by Neon where I was having a towel? I don't know. He has hair now. How much did I miss? For 2 weeks now. Welcome back to the stream. No, Rocco the doggo sent a corgi. Goodness me, thank you so much. Is that VR chat? Oh, it most definitely is. Everyone lost their blood pressure. Oh, I bet. First days in VR chat, always something to remember. Fumbling around, the magic of seeing your avatar's hands for the first time in VR. I'll never forget that. How many roses for a bean shot? 5 million. Okay, fine. Divided by 10. Sends 5. That's certainly not divided by 10. Oh my goodness. Here, take my hands instead. Or I'm using a Quest Pro.
I haven't asked yet. How are you, Vesper? How was your day? How do you feel? And for Geb, remember your first time in Virgit? If so, how went?
Oh, Matty has a question for you, Vesp. You should read it.
Mm. I'll read it. Haven't asked yet, but how are you, Vesper? I haven't asked yet. How are you, Vesper? How was your day? How do you feel? And as for Gab, remember your first time in VR chat? If so, how did it went? Well, I'm doing okay. Just unwinding from my day, chilling out with Gab. Gab, come on.
Sorry about that. I seem to have lagged or something. So, yeah. Hello, Slacks. Nice to see you. Missed me that quickly. Gosh. Oh, it seems Rem sent more. Here, 0.5 seconds. Because I have to cross my legs. You didn't answer my question. You mean my first day in VR chat? I logged into the VR chat home. The first avatar I picked was the axolotl girl. It was an anime girl who had like this axolotl hoodie that was pink. I think it was super cute. And then, well, I didn't know about the world exploration back then, so I just followed one of the predetermined portals there on the right, and I think the first one that I entered was the avatar dynamics testing chamber or something like that. And yeah, I went in. I didn't know about private or public instances, so there was a bunch of other people. To my surprise, some of those people, well, most of those people are also new. And We were half of them were like looking at their hands as I was subscribing and everything, looking at each other, saying, "Wow, cool! So this is VR." And some are just standing by the mirror, you know. The remaining 10% are the goobers who are making so much noise and using very colorful language. So yeah. After that, I started hanging out at clearly the Black Cat only once. And then I started hanging out in the furry hideout. I was just a mirror dweller. I listened into the interesting conversations that was going around me. This was last year, February. And yeah, and I've met some people, interesting people. I've learned a lot about furry culture. I knew very little back then. I I didn't have anybody to handhold me into VR chat. I was quite literally on my own until I had my first bunch of friends. Yeah, Dimitar is one of those. And surprising, I was friends with kids too. They were funny. I tried my best to steer them away from hanging out with the bad crowd because I can't help but be a big brother to people. And yeah, the kids have very short attention span, so they moved on. And yeah, yeah, that's it. That's it. And then I started streaming like 2 months after that. And then things just grew from there. I met more people, I've learned more, and I this whole streaming thing started because I wanted to like role play or catalog a journey towards Forality Umbra, which was 2 weeks away. So it was 14 days of me streaming every day, I believe, and until in various desert, like it would be in various times at various points of my travels until I made it to Umbra, which I was mildly disappointed at. I guess I just had really high expectations, you know. And yeah, I hmm, did you meet Vesper in VR? Yes, of course.
Yeah.
She showed up during one of my community meets. Before, after streams, I would invite people to, hey, do you want to hang out? Thank you for tuning into the stream, for supporting me. At least let me thank you in person. And by in person, I mean in VR. And yeah, she showed up in one of those. And we started hanging out after that. Just nice to spend time with. And yeah, nice person. And here she is now.
Yeah, there's been a lot of change since when I first met him because I went from the default Nova Beast with the, what was it, the Desert Robe set,
Yes.
and now here I am, a Luna Beast with much nicer attire.
Brings me back. Anubis says meeting you in person as a fan would be an honor for that person. I humble myself always. I remind myself that I wouldn't be where I am. I wouldn't be able to sustain what I'm doing if it weren't for you guys. A lot of streamers forget that fact. You know, they start becoming famous. It gets to their head. The fame gets to their head, and they often than not they forget their roots. You know, we all started from zero, chat. I'll never forget that, especially the people that helped me. You see, support is not just all about money. It's about people lending their shoulders when you're having a rough patch in whatever you're doing, or other people lending their wisdom and knowledge in subjects that you have no idea how to do so, especially the people, my friends, who helped me in 3D. We have Sinner, we have I'm gonna start listing names, but I'm gonna stop. You know who you are. Yeah. But then again, it's a double-edged sword, chat. Listen, meeting your community, meeting your supporters, it uh because I don't want to develop parasocial relationships with people. Unlike others who's like, oh my god, thank you. Yeah, I love you so much. You know these streamers are just faking it, chat.
Yeah.
Me, I genuinely get attached to people if I let you into my circle. Like you become my friend. That means you really are my friend. And because of that, I when you let people in, there's always the risk of them disappearing sooner than you expect. So we're talking about loss because people move at their own pace. You know, they have their own destinations, their own journeys. And more often than not, you are just people traveling together, but ultimately ending up in different places at the end of the day. So yeah, double-edged sword, chat. You get attached to these people, and once they move on, you see the fork in the road. The sun isn't shining so brightly anymore. So cherish the time you have while things are high and nice up in the sky. You'll never know once you start to diverge. Yeah. Anyway, hi there, JJC. Somatic says, is this a sign to gamble? I don't know, Chan. It seems players have their own agendas nowadays. Moving on. Oh wow, that's a terrible drift, by the way. Yeah. Hi, Octo. Super Splat says watching your stream made my day a little better. I, by nature, I'm an optimistic person, but recently I've been marinated in the deep flavors of realism. Sometimes you gotta face reality, Chad. Candles don't burn forever, as warm and cozy and comforting as they may be. Lupus says gambling is best done if you plan ahead. Don't gamble on a whim. Where's the fun in that? That they shine bright enough to radiate the warmth you need. And when you get used to that warmth, you think you don't have to go through the cold, harsh winter biting your skin outside. You see it slowly burning down to its last drops. Nothing but the wick left, shining its brightest before going. Or worse, slowly flickering into nothingness. Being blown away by some darn wind that wasn't there before. Ever heard of Amaterasu, the immortal flame? I know various iterations of Amaterasu, but maybe It's different from the one you're pertaining to, Anubis. Everything went downhill. Never mind. When
What
you
matters
see
is that
red,
those who stick around do stick around at least.
that's true. Thank you, Vesper. No, Tony. My eyes grow heavy.
Mm.
Almost as heavy as my. Clearly not my pocket. Just joking. Okay, so as your what says Tony. Thank goodness Mystic's not here. Because if I said it clearly as heavy as my heart, she'd like smack me with a wrench. It's not, Chad. It's not. Here we go again, Matthew, with the I can piss higher poeticness than you can give. Matthew says, then let me be the match. I light another, even it costs a spark of me for you to keep bright and warm. Yes. Sure, you still haven't beat me in that last series of photos I made. Let me double check something. Thank you, Awesome Fox. A bit late to the reply, but my bad. Are you Filipino? Yes. What's the worst idea you've ever had? I. um, that's TOS. How can I say that? Eating sandwich with nothing but ketchup on it. Probably. Wow. Not too bad. It was banana ketchup. Oh my god. Because I really like egg sandwiches. So you cook a sunny side egg up. You know, the yolk is runny and all. You put it on some nice flat white bread, pepper, bit of salt, ketchup. That's it. So I said, this is delicious because of the ketchup. So I tried making one with just ketchup because I didn't know how to cook eggs back then. I was like, what, 8, 9 years old? I want to get some oxygen. I feel so tired, Memo. I will drink. So be it. Give me a moment as I. Yes, Meta, thank you. Why are you so high quality? No. You should take rest. I haven't earned my bread yet today, Memo. Vesper went oof. She sure did. Dang. Super Splat says, I remember that years ago. When I still went to daycare, they would often feed us tuna sandwiches for lunch. And I was basically the only one who liked them. You know, it's not bad. Tuna, canned tuna, hard boiled egg that's been mashed with a fork, and then sandwich spread or mayonnaise. Bit of pepper, ground, fine, delicious. Tuna sandwiches are delicious. Hi there, Kay. Why are you so high quality? I am. See you around. Hi there, Noppert. Delta sent some roses. Thank goodness. We might actually reach 1,000 I actually have no idea what our goal is. Oh, we've made 1,000 coins. Oh, I can afford a tuna sandwich, chat. Matthew says, I like your company, Gam. You truly free up my own insecurities and bring me comfort. Glad you feel that way, Matthew. What time is it for you, Ash Jam? It's 7:06 a.m. And man, oh man, am I like sinking into my chair? Okay, I'm gonna sit this way so it's more. I don't feel sleepy. Excuse me, how am I doing? Okay, yeah, I just had to move from me slouching in my chair. No wonder you're tired. Listen, I have like this reclining chair, which if you recline the chair, so the chair like reclines like that. That the foot thing like goes up too. So it's like or it essentially turns into a bed. And then the best thing about it is it can like swivel left and right. Oh man. Dang. Tomorrow. No. Or next stream, I promise I will make super duper effort to stream 4 or 5 hours earlier than now. Priorities are comfort, chat. Says laro tayo. Hi, good morning. No, not a 5 hour straight. I mean, um, I will start stream earlier, Memo. Read me a bedtime story. You know what, Delta? That wish of yours might come true soon because I'm gonna be recording a bunch of things that you can subscribe to, and stories are gonna be one of them. How's Blender and Unity doing? Well, I have still a bunch of things to do. That's for certain. Take some weight painting issues. Oh, Blender, oh, Substance Painter, oh, Unity. Need to make your Sona for virality. No, Matthew, I have to optimize things. I need a medium avatar for virality. I can't just go around in very poor. Alan says, good morning, boss. Good morning. Goodness. Ugh. Sleepiness. Motivating factor. Where did you go? Hmm. How can other streamers get away with just sleeping streams, chat? how how do they do it? I mean, I can just like nod off like this, and then that's it. You're probably gonna hear snoring soon, but of course, I'm not gonna do that. Mm. Oh wow! I would watch you sleep. Oh, you just want me to like zoom out the camera. Yucks. Hey, ow! Ooh, my eyes. Oh, you know when you yawn and like tears come out and it's salty out. Please use your voice in an audiobook. For what? Chat, if you want me in an audiobook or a recording of me, what would you want to hear? What would you pay for me to read to you? That's a genuine question. So, oh my damn eyes. Pay, not in the lie, be my stepdad. Be your stepdad? What does that even mean? Memories of Get Lord of the. You want me to read Tolkien? I just need to rest my eyes. Oh, come on. Still waiting for the examples. My eyes are stinging, Chad. Wow, wow. What? He says your voice would fit well for fantasy romance books. Ah, another Tuesday. Another day, Kay leans their elbows by the windowsill, looking out hopeful, remembering a certain man that resembled an owl. What was his name? Sunseeker. Starts with an M. Hmm. Every day, Kay would fantasize about this man. And I'll stop right there. Pero bueno. The end. But end. Matthew says, end. No, the journey doesn't end here. Death is just another path, one that we all must take. The gray rain curtain of this world rolls back and all turns to silver glass. And then you see it. What, Gandalf? See what? White shores and beyond. A far green country under a swift sunrise. Saruman! Never mind. Right. Comedy books would be a good idea. I don't know. Comedy, me? Based on what you did earlier, yes. What about Matthew and Kay? Imperial says. No, Imperial, sorry. I thought there was an L. Says I'm a tease. Oh. Bridget Jones, oh no. Enclave or the Brotherhood of Steel? Of course, it's gotta be the Enclave. We will make blank great again. Kay says, I don't think I've ever been shipped with someone before. You would have to read an audiobook, 50 Shades of Grey. I don't know. I've listened to like I remember a clip of it in TikTok or Facebook. He was listening to 50 Shades of Grey aloud on purpose. Here's the fun thing, chat. W- When I read these things, I'll be reading it here in VR. So imagine me right now, just like a recorded version of this. Here I am reading my invisible book to you. It's not just something which is audio only. I would love it, says Kay. Uh, Hazel. Again, nothing fancy, just a Quest Pro. Lots of people are asking what headsets I'm using. Maybe I should tell them the truth. Chat, I've actually been using the Valve Deckard Pro Max XL 15. Yep. That's why it's so good. Dim's asking, Geb, if you could choose a motorcycle for me, what would you choose? Well, depending on how tall you are, and what kind of riding you're gonna do, it's either gonna be a dirt bike or a sports bike, or you can never go wrong with just a road bike. Emma, been a while. Emma says, Gebus, guess where I was for 4 days? In purgatory. Oh, wait, that was me. A library set world with a chimney, fire and couch, you sitting on it with the book on hand, calling us to sit down and hear a story. Ah, yes. So it's gotta be a full body shot, so none of this is cropped, right? Okay. Hello, potato. Good says, on a scale from 1 to 10, you're a 9. Because I'm the one you need. Creative. I don't know if I can read that Emporio. I have to be TOS. Oh wait, it's not stream, huh? Hmm. Yeah, go ahead. You were in Italy. Ciao a tutti. Are you a submarine? Because my love for you is so deep. And the food was so good. Well, I'm glad you had a great time, Emma. Truly. Damn, Miles, no. No. It has to be something broader, Miles. Something everybody can relate to. Maybe the person you're trying to pick up hasn't watched Cars. Should consider that. Oi, Matthew. Where'd Wolfie go? Are you sure he asked for a wager? Guys, I have not known Wolfie to actually joke about wagers. But if he's busy, don't disturb him. It's okay. I just wanted to confirm, that's all. As I need my statistics of my own. I don't know about that pickup line good. Oh no, it was a plating. He didn't ask. Ah. Can you confirm with Wolfie if he's gonna be. Nah, never mind. It's okay. That's gonna be rude of me. Forget it. Where is gorgeous Vesper? She is currently not in her seat, Emma. It's just me and my lonesome at the office. She's been summoned to do chores. She was here earlier, though. That scores higher, Miles. I don't know about that, Kay. Either solo band. Matthew says, you've been searching for answers your whole life, but I'm the question you never thought to ask, and the one you've always needed. Ah. Wrong. Why? Do you feel like there's something wrong going on my end, Solo? Huh. Vesper says I'd prefer not to be someone for chores, but I'm keeping my head down and not getting angry. Good. I can hang on for 10 more minutes, chat, and then I'm gonna sleep. I need to sleep this off. My head is starting not to be in the right place because of it misses the pillow. Clearly does. Besides, I don't want to bore you any further than you already are right now. Maybe I should cut down on the amount of streams I do. Just do pre-recorded stuff. Might be the wiser option. Wonder how that's gonna do. Why are you so quiet? I am low on battery. I'm just mentally exhausted from from problem solving. It's not with people. It's. Ugh. Do you know how it feels when you've had a whole day of studying, For example, cramming mathematical equations into your head on top of memorization of dates for history class. Yeah, that sort of feeling. Your current streaming schedule is good as it is as Anubis. Really? You mean I'm actually not streaming late to you guys? Hmm. Oh, you mean the every other day, and then I take the weekends off. Right. Tuesday. Just stream when you can. I don't know, Anubis. Thank you. Thank you, Miles. Wow, thank you, Kay. So sweet of you. I like your voice, it's calming. Hmm, I see. Here I am looking up, trying to dredge up thoughts from my overexerted brain. And all I'm doing is simply trying to keep my lids open. Oh, if you only know how burdened they are. Oh, it sure is. Arubi says you have good allies. Try bringing some of them to assist you in your streams. Yeah. You would be surprised with how little friends I have, Anubis. Not because I can't, but it's by choice. One hand. The amount of actual close friends I can call upon fits all here in one hand. Yes. I'll see you around, Matthew. Good luck at work. Thanks for hanging around. Appreciate it. You take care too. Yeah, what Anubis says. Bappy says your VR probably has the best quality. I no, I don't have the best headset. A friend of mine has a Somnium. It's Axiom Atom. He sees the world in super duper high fidelity. The Quest Pro is actually pretty dated at this point. No, I don't. Dim says lenses and performance 3. Plus face tracking and tracking of Quest Pro will be perfect. Yeah. Frankly, I'm waiting for an ultra wide OLED face tracking headset. That's all I want. It's strange having binocular vision. Yeah. 5 minutes chat and I gotta go. Sorry I can't stream as long as I want to. I'm running on fumes. Energy just isn't there. Spirit, soul, like fumes in a gas tank. Pretty empty. Oh, I didn't mean to sound dramatic, chat. I just mean I'm in low energy. You miss your pillow. Hi, Action. Speaking of the devil, I was just telling them about your VR1. Fancy pants, tungsten bald headset. Well, squared. I could be better, Crackus. Actually, I'm sleepy, that's why. Why you no reply to me? You sent me a message? Let me double check. Axiomatic. Do you have anything in mind to play us a good more? Oh, I was sorry. I wasn't able to return the greeting. My apologies. I was probably half awake. Things to play. I don't mind. You can join Vesper and I in Monster Hunter Wilds, or we could play some Enlisted, or frankly, I just want to play a bit of Space Marine, De-Stress, or Battlefield. Yeah. Have you ever been to a FurCon? No, I haven't. I was being pushed, invited to one locally sometime last year. They were even willing to pay for me to attend and pay for my lodging too. But that just made things seem more sketchier, and I declined even harder. Why would you pay for my hotel? And like, no, no. Who knows what could happen? Thanks. Oops. Have you eaten cheese today? You know what's funny? I actually did. Earlier, I mashed some of the baby potatoes I had in storage. I steamed them first. No, I cooked them in boiling water using a pressure cooker, and I mashed them up. And then I got the whole bag of like a pizza topping cheese. It's delicious. Mm, absolute winner. I may have some after stream. There. What do you mean there, Anubis? No, no, I don't know what you mean. Oh, God. Oh, man, this week sucks. I'm going to say it. Mm. Oh, like a glow stick cracking and seeping light with every bend and crick. Whenever you stretch, lean back and, you know, you just get little bursts of sleepiness flow through your body. Ethan, you got it right the first time. Yeah, it's this VR chat. Correct. How are you? I'm actually particularly sleepy during the stream. Oh, yeah. Twitch chat is so quiet. I know. You know what? You're right, Lupus. Maybe I should go. It's that time anyway. I also have to go out later and do my laundry, Joy. Yes, I just looked between my coat. It's like, huh? Chat, there's not much going on tonight. I'm particularly tired. I have to cut the stream a bit short. I might be back tomorrow, maybe day after. I need to recharge. I 100% need to recharge. You guys too. If you feel drained and tired, like you don't want to do anything, listen to your body, listen to your brain, listen to your heart. Recharge. Okay? As much as I want to stay here for all of you, enjoy my company. It's yeah. I'm getting conscious that I'm boring everyone, especially today. I don't want to show you with the sleepy Geb. Mm-mm. Before you say it's cute, it's not. It's cute, says Zekuna. It's cute, says Kay. Well, Lupus. Lupus saying it's cute. It's cute, says everyone. Hi, Birku. Yeah, there you go. That's the proper term. I feel worn out. Man, such a basic term, and I couldn't recall it earlier. Well, Gebos is pretty worn out, and Gebos will attempt to recuperate. And when he has recuperated, he will be here with you. Yeah, deal. Deal. Let's make a wager. If it lands on pause, I'll stream tomorrow. If it lands on heads, I'll stream day after tomorrow. Looks like it's gonna be day after tomorrow, chat. It landed on heads. With that being said, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I'll see you on TikTok. Thanks for hanging around. As for my Twitch, my apologies. Goodness me. Like a digital device with its battery icon turning from yellow to orange to red. Here I am at red. How does one recharge the soul? To recharge the body, you lie down and you eat. To recharge the heart, you go talk to somebody that is open to your words. To recharge the mind, you disconnect from whatever task that you're doing and you think of something else, something of contrast. To recharge the soul, how does one do that? And don't you dare say prayer. Well, that looks like it's something for me to solve. I'll see you around, chat. I'll catch you later.